Hi guys, welcome to FDM Transtastic. This week is a free week, so we are going to talk about music and singing and how being trans affects that interest in our lives, sort of. You'll understand. What is your relationship with music and singing?
We have a very close-knit relationship because we are married. I accidentally started singing because I joined a choir. I was never one of those children who just sang one day and then realized that I was interested in it. I was in church and then there was a choir and I joined the choir and then I just kept joining choirs until this day of our Lord.
How old were you?
I was about 6-ish. I didn't think about it as a place where you sang. It was like a place where you went, met people, had fun, made friends. And then I just accidentally realized that I was semi-good at it and that I liked it, so I just kept joining choirs.
So has it helped or developed you in some way?
I think it's the connections that you make and the friends that you make. When I was a teenager, I was in a choir where we would do musicals that we wrote ourselves. We would perform classic pieces like Carmina Burana. We would go on choir trips I've been to London, Germany, like Latvia, I think. So it hasn't really developed me musically a lot, I don't think, but more like socially and how to make friends and how to be happy.
Which is what matters. I have always been interested in music and in singing and stuff like that, but I didn't know I was interested in it. I would write songs when I was a child, but I would be like, these are just poems with a melody to them, and it never crossed my mind that music was a hobby that you could have. I don't know why I never made the connection until I was like 12 or 13, 14. I bought a guitar. I didn't understand how to do anything, so I gave up. And then when I was maybe 16, I started to try to get better. I was always practicing singing alone in my home, probably disturbing the neighbors. I joined a musical course, here's cat number 2, in 2015. That sort of developed me more, and now we're taking private singing lessons together. I guess that since I joined the musical course, it has helped me by making me more confident and less afraid of singing in front of other people.
Dysphoria-wise, to move on, has singing ever affected your dysphoria in a positive way or a negative way?
When I had not started testosterone, it wasn't that I really got really super dysphoric all the time when I would sing, but the thing was that I literally, it's like when you look at your body and then you see, your chest or whatever, you're like, that's not supposed to be there. And it was the same way with my voice. The way that my voice sounded, my brain could not compute that was the way my voice sounded. I just couldn't hear what my voice was doing, partly because my ear wasn't that well trained in music, but also because my dysphoria made it so that I had a hard time computing what my voice was actually doing. And I didn't like singing super high, even though I was really good at it, which is a shame. So that would make me dysphoric sometimes, because I would be told that I needed to do something differently, and I knew that the reason it was hard for me was because of dysphoria and because I was trans. Since I started testosterone, obviously there was a rough patch when I couldn't sing that well, but then now at this point, I know what my voice is doing. Now I'm able to sing in a different way because I feel better about my voice and my body. And because you don't sing with just your voice, you sing with your entire body. And so when you're comfortable in your body, you are able to, or at least I am able to, sing better. Yeah. A really long-winded answer. So how about you?
I'm gonna go with a spontaneous no. It hasn't affected negatively or positively. I know a lot of people are like, what is gender? How does gender even feel? Explain. And I'm like, what?
Me?
And yeah, you. And I'm like, I don't care. But I mean, I don't mean that I don't care about what I just mean that's not something I think about. But the only time I feel like I don't have a gender is when I sing. When I sing, I know no one is thinking about my gender. The only thing that matters is if I sing well. The only thing that it has affected, which I realized later on in life, is that during the time when I didn't know I was trans, people would be like, oh, you should be on Swedish Idol, and I was like, nah, I don't really want to do, that's not gonna be my career, I don't want to do anything professionally within, the music world, but now I feel like I could, because now it would feel like me performing and not someone else. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's my experience. The only thing I was not looking forward to when going on T was my voice changing, because I really enjoy the way my voice used to sound, or even sounds now.
I think it's really interesting how that can be different for different people.
Definitely.
Because some people are like, I can't sing, my dysphoria is so bad, and other people are like, I love my singing voice. I don't want it to change. I want to go on T, but I don't want my voice to change.
Yeah.
Which leads us on to the next question,
yes.
which you already answered, which is, how do you feel about your singing voice changing when you go on T? I was basically just waiting for my voice to change because I knew that I would be able to sing better when I was on T. Like, I have lost a lot of control because I have to sing in a completely different way than I did before. It's harder, but it's easier for me to learn.
Yeah.
Like, the starting point is far, like, more below. More below. It's further down than it's worse. You know what I mean? I'm farther down than I was before, but it's easier to climb back up, whereas maybe I started here before, but I couldn't climb higher than this. Nobody cares about my stupid metaphors!
But can I say this though, that the change is so noticeable, because
it's so dramatic.
So dramatic. There was a 2-week, like, period. At one point, there was a note that you had to take that I literally had to tickle you to make you push at that much air out of your lungs to be able to take that note. And now, when you do it, it sounds effortless.
What would you say to someone who's afraid of losing their singing voice or part of their range when they go on T?
I know it's easy to focus on what you're losing, but also think about the gains! So for me, being interested in musicals, I used to only focus on, like, when I go on T, I can't be Eva Peron, or I can't be Alphaba. But now I can be Fiero, and I can be, you know, I can be Shay.
It's funny because our cat's name is Fiero.
My cat's name is Fiero, and the other cat is named Alphaba. I don't have to be Patty LuPone, I can be Mandy Patinkin, and that's okay by me. Like, think about what you can do that you couldn't do before. And yeah, there will be things that you could do that you won't be able to do, but that's okay, because now you can do more things.
I would say that there's this myth going around that when you go on T, you lose your singing voice. And let me just say, that rumor is so, like, I am not an expert at music, but let me say that is absolute bullshit. A lot of the time, you do need to start using a different technique for singing. You need to sing more from your chest, you maybe need to use your gut more, you know, maybe, whatever. You need to use a different technique. That does not mean that your singing voice is worse. It just means that you need to change your technique. And you can do that through learning yourself, or you can go to a vocal coach or a singing teacher a few times, or if you want to start going regularly. If you have an ear for music, and if you have been able to sing and you have had that control, it's absolutely possible to get it back. It's all about how much work you're willing to put into it. And sure, you may come to a point where it's like, especially when your voice is dropping, when you have like zero control of your voice, and it's really disheartening because you used to be like really good at something and then you're suddenly not, and it's like, ugh. I think it's definitely different. Some people like feel no real struggle with it at all, and some people feel a bit of a struggle, and some people feel like they've completely lost their singing voice. But again, I think it's just about, you're gonna have to adapt to using a new technique, and it might be really, really freaking difficult, but it's not impossible. You don't lose anything. The conditions for it just change. That doesn't mean it's not hard, it doesn't mean it's an easy thing to do, but it means that it's not impossible to keep singing after testosterone if you're just willing to put in the work. It's
literally just puberty. If you think of a cis man who lost his voice after puberty, that's probably because he gave up on practicing.
Yeah, when I say practicing, I don't mean just practice. I mean know how you're supposed to practice.
Practice and understand what you're practicing.
Yeah, so you might need to get advice from someone who's actually a singing teacher.
And also, if you find that you literally lost your singing voice after T, it's okay, you didn't die.
If you're not willing to put in the work and you're just, you know, a casual singer, what does it matter? You gain so much else.
Yes.
Anyway, so this was us talking about this topic.
Great! Have a good day, everyone!